Hello, my loves. Welcome back to your weekly intention episode, to the final episode of season 7. I've loved this season. Thank you for being here. I have loved this season. I mean, I love all of the guests I have on the show. I know I mentioned this in the last episode with Nikki and Claire from La Copine, but I do feel like this season, the guests I had on the show were just so expansive. And I love being on this journey with you. I know that it can feel like one-sided, but before I hit record on any episode, but particularly these solo intention episodes, I really tap into you. It sounds weird, but I open myself up to connection because when I'm recording this, like with my eyes closed at my desk, no video, I really feel like I'm talking to you. And I hope that you feel that way too. Thank you for being here because you're the one that fuels this. Like it's reciprocal. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like it's not just me talking. You are like the wheel that keeps this going in so many ways, logistically, but profoundly. And in fact, this kind of ties into this week's intention, which is I will feel free. And this intention, my mind had some hesitation about sharing this. This intention came to me 2 weeks ago before I'm recording this, the week before you'll hear it. And I was like, oh, that's going to be the last intention. And my mind was like, no, that might be a little much. Like people have busy lives and all this. And of course, that meant the reason this all comes up is that means I have to live this. Like I have to practice this. I'm doing this in real time with you all. So what does that mean? I will feel free. Because in a very real way, there are structures in our society, there are obligations in our life that often can feel like a cage. And it feels like we are not free. And as my teacher will so often ask me, and is that true? Nikki, my dear listener, is it true? Because when we go underneath the layers of all of that bullshit, and it's not all bullshit. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but some of it is. And some of it is fabricated. A lot of it isn't real, right? And certainly underneath all of it, when we go into ourselves, like do this with me, like sit, stand, if you're walking, if you're driving, you can do this wherever you are. Breathe into your being, into the deepest heart of who you are. Nobody controls that. Nobody controls that. That is free all the time. We are so free all the time. We can access that feeling of spaciousness and presence. And it feels like to me in my body, a deep sigh, a surrender, an opening. What does it feel like in your body? Because it might feel different. Like I'm asking you. I wish you were here to tell me. But like, what does freedom feel like in your body? In your body. It trickles up to our mind. I think we're all like, oh, we're not plagued by thoughts and things like that feels free. But in your body, what does it feel like? Is there a softening that happens? Maybe there's a effervescence, or maybe there's a real grounding. Check it out. Because we can tap into this feeling in little micro ways. I talk about this all the time. I think it's these micro shifts, these tapping into these intentions in the tiniest slivers of places. And they start to add up. So, real life example, of course, that happened today, of course. I didn't know I was actually going to record today. And this experience has led me to record. And again, you are part of that. Like you are part of this conversation because I had a meeting this morning that was canceled. And so subconsciously, without my even thinking, or maybe it was my complete thinking and without my being, I just started to fill in my morning. Okay, this and this, and I'll get this and that. And then I remembered this episode this intention that I've been working with. And it's thanks to you that I paused and I was like, oh, wait, I think I'm being asked, maybe tested a little bit, but maybe just asked to live what I'm thinking about, like live what's on my heart, even if it's just for a little bit, a little moment this morning. And so I went out on my back day. It is a glorious day in the Hudson Valley, like cool, but the sun is out and warm. And I just sat in the sun. And then the arugula in my garden was like, hey there, Nikki. And I went over and I harvested the last of the arugula to the point where my husband came in from work. We both work from home. He's a musician. He's got his studio above the garage. And he's like, what are you doing? Like, he was like kind of shocked to see me just being in the middle, of the morning. I don't know if there's any other doers out there, but I know you know what I'm talking about. But I was really feeling free. And it wasn't like this, I think the Jerry Maguire thing of like, free. I'm not going to sing the Tom Petty song, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, I think so many of us feel like freedom is going to feel like that, like this rush of adrenaline, this like complete letting go. And it didn't feel like that at all. It felt like serenity this morning. Freedom just felt so simple, so embodied. And I think that's probably what real freedom feels like. Yeah, we do have moments where we let something go and it's a rush and it is freedom, but it's also going to crash. Like nothing at that decibel can stay. It's going to crash. I think maybe when we access this real freedom that's always there, where we don't need the outside world, the parameters around us to tell us if we're free or not, we can just access it. I think it's actually a quieter feeling. I'm curious actually like how you feel about that. Pipe in the comments. So these little moments of freedom, connection, and we can tap into them even among all of the activities that we kind of have to do. But again, I'm going to push back here because I'm telling myself this, but maybe some of you need to hear this too. Do we really have to do all of the things we tell ourselves we have to do? Is it true? What would happen if we didn't do them? My youngest, this is very personal, and I've never shared this, so keep this into your beautiful ears, but she battles with a bit of anxiety. And it's a really hard question for her to sit with at 11 years old, because she does feel like if she doesn't do the things, getting teary eyed. If she doesn't do the things, then something bad will happen. And as her mother, I can see the fallacy of that. We could all see the fallacy of that, but we do this to ourselves all the time without us even knowing, like without even knowing that we're doing it to ourselves. Like we have the key to this cage. And my mission in all of this work I do, and I know it's like about food and it's about pleasure, yes, but it's about freedom. It's about our own sovereignty. It's about finding freedom for ourselves so that we can access our brightest light and shine forth brilliantly, uniquely, and uplift this freaking world. And it starts in these like tiny little micro moments. And in the kitchen, oh my gosh, like what a great place to practice freedom. And I think we can practice this with the recipe. Ooh, I love writing recipes, you guys. You know this. This is what I do for a living. It's what I've been doing for over 20 years of my life. And I also am at a point where I'm like, there's a million recipes out there, first of all, and I'm not going to stop writing them. And is there something else that I can provide to empower people to not be confined by a recipe? And I've been dabbling with this, like in my book, Mind, Body, Spirit, Food. All of my recipes have variations for that reason. I want people to feel that freedom, to feel held by a recipe, but then also feel like that they can explore within it and make it their own. And this summer, I'm starting a new series called Cook Free, And I don't really know where it's going to take me, but there's going to be structure. There's going to be instruction. There's going to be, like this like hug, but also a lot of freedom within it so that we don't get tied into following like the nuts and bolts. Oh my gosh, you guys, last night I was making the fried rice, the clean out the fridge fried rice recipe in my book. And this recipe, I have been making variations of this recipe. I say this, I think, in the header. I've been making variations of this recipe forever. And it's never quite the same way twice, but that's part of the beauty of it. And then last night, I found myself like, oh, I have to measure the tamari. I took out my little liquid measuring cup to measure the tamari. And then I was like, girl, what are you doing? You don't need to measure the tamari. Oh my gosh. I was just following the recipe. Like, what? I really wasn't in my agency in that moment. And there's nothing wrong with following recipes. And there's times when we really do have to do that. Like we have to follow a recipe for a few go rounds, and then we can start to experiment because we have the skills down. But fried rice, I mean, the beauty of fried rice is like you just throw things together and you can drizzle in the tamari and you can drizzle in as much or as little as you want. I have 2 tablespoons in that recipe. And that was because, it does work. But if you want more, if you want less, like there's no right or wrong way to do it. But there I was with my own recipe, like following it to a T. I chuckled to myself and I set that down and I just cooked and I shut the book. And here, you guys, I know, like my publisher is like, what are you doing? You need to sell them your book. but I mean, that is the purpose of the book, right? That's the heart of it. But where can we feel free? And yes, it can be in like allowing ourselves to not follow a recipe to a T, to get curious and creative and just experiment and play and get courageous about that because you know that there's a risk for failure. But I think that failure in the kitchen, and unless you're baking something, then there is a bit of a risk for failure. Like baking is a pretty precise science, but I even say that with qualifications because my oldest daughter never uses a recipe and she bakes all the time. But when it comes to cooking things, like a technique that you're pretty comfortable with, like maybe just don't open the cookbook and just see what happens. And just know that you're going to be able to adjust and play with it as you go. That's one way to access freedom. But I think just saying to ourselves, I will feel free when I enter the kitchen, especially on those nights where, one kid has this and one kid has that, or work was big and we've got this meal to make. And it's like, we're feeling all the feelings. I will feel free. Maybe all that will do is just remind you of that well of freedom within yourself. Maybe it'll just be like the little click open the door a tiny bit. Might not open all the way, but gosh, you're going to remember, okay, it's within me. And you might not get there, but that door has been cracked. And maybe next time it'll crack further. And maybe next time even further. This week, my invitation, I will feel free. I think it's a really important one. I think this is the foundation. Like we need to feel free because then nothing can have its power over us. Then we are at our peak power. And we talked about the last intention episode was, I will get grounded as an access to power. And all of this ties together, right? Like we do need to get grounded. We need to feel in our bodies. That sense of freedom, this idea of what freedom feels like, we have to be embodied. It's in our body. It's not elsewhere. It's not outside of us. It's inside of us. So what makes you feel grounded? Maybe you start there and then what does freedom feel like? That might be the practice in and of itself. If you can't feel it, don't worry. That's totally normal. But keep trying. Keep getting quiet. Keep getting grounded. Keep doing these little things, these glimmers. And when it bubbles up, like in my post, we talk about this is happiness, just saying it. Like happiness is really, I don't love the word happiness, but really joy is like, it's ever present. It's just a matter of us really tapping into it. And I think that this is similar. Like, can we tap into it? Knowing that it's there and knowing that sometimes we're not going to get there. And that's what's called being human. Welcome to Earth, my friends. I love you so much. I hope this resonates. I'm so curious about how this will land for you. I hope it opens the door. And I hope that this season, summer, like what a great time to practice feeling free because nature is on our side. And for my dear friends on the other side of the hemisphere, you're in winter, but also that quiet, the dark quiet, that's a sure way in. That's a sure way in. For those of us here in the warmer season, feeling like the support of the earth, the sun, there are these moments. Many of us take vacations, but we don't need all of that. We can just do this within the everyday, but they can help, right? They can help. But if you're on a vacation, can you then bring that back home into the everyday and remind yourself over and over again, you are free and you are fucking powerful. And wow, I'm sorry I just dropped the F bomb, but I mean it. I mean it. I love you. Thank you for supporting this work. This is the last episode for a little bit. I always have to take a little sabbatical and regroup. And I trust that next season will be exactly as it's meant to be. But I don't plan it. Like you guys know, I can't editorial calendarize this work. I have to a certain extent when I have guests on. But so far, there is season 8, Empty Slate. Oh, yes. How exciting is that? I can't wait to see where it takes us because we're going to be on that journey together, I hope. If this episode resonates, please support it. It's hard to do this work. Community supported work is so right for this business, but it's also really challenging. So you can, just send it to a friend. You can post about it. You can like it on Substack. You can leave a comment. All these little things help. And of course, you can become a paid subscriber. That's the nuts and bolts. I mean, that's kind of the practical side of all of this. But thank you to all of you who are. I adore you. And if you choose to do that, you get access to all of the recipes, over 160 recipes at this point, if not more, rolling out a really fun series with some other Substackers, a cooking class series that you'll have free access to other classes and other fun perks. So you can do that. You can, support the book, all of those things. You know how it goes. Until next time, may you nourish yourself with intention and love and know that you are free. Bye for now.